Hello again. This guy. Well, I got something surprising to tell you about this guy. I fixed it! I fixed it! It actually does something! The last video got pretty long-winded. This one I'm going to try to go a little faster and run through the different things that it now can do and show you what I did to fix it. I think. It could also just be fluke or magic, but I think I fixed it. Okay, let's go. I'm using the exact same shop vac as I used the last one. I got a new adapter. Didn't do shit. Switched this adapter from the other crazy one. Worked exactly the same, like total garbage. But then I fixed it. Same sanding drum as last time. You can see where I was previously sanding in the last video. This time, listen to how high-pitched it gets now that it gets all the way up to speed, and watch it work. You can still stall it if you really bear into it, but man, it does a way better job. It still doesn't catch any of the sawdust, but the thing I fixed is not going to do that. But yeah, if you need to round a corner off or do a little shaping on a Dremel or a Pinewood Derby car, I think this would actually do it now. On to the next one. Same engraver bit, just like the last one. Here we go. Wow. Okay. I was a little more aggressive than I was expecting I was there. Ugh. That is a nice, deep engraving, actually. I can feel it through the glove. So, that's a pass. Drywall. This was the thing I was most excited about, and one of the places it failed the worst before. I think you can already tell what's going to happen, but here we go. It will still stall. It doesn't catch all the drywall unless you got the cup over it, which you can get on a plunge cut, but it can plunge cut. Kind of crappily. It can cut drywall. It'll do it if you don't have anything better. On to the next one. And here's the big boy, cutting some steel. We're in. It's not real deep, it takes forever, but it can actually do it. About as well as probably a 4.8 volt Dremel would. I think this is what they intended. This is how it was supposed to work, I think, when they designed it. And if you stick with it, it is actually possible to cut. It just takes a while. But if you had no other option, and you hated a hacksaw, and you didn't have a hacksaw or whatever, you could slowly cut your way through this thing using only your shop vac and this guy. And all my other complaints about it, I think they still stand. The ergonomics on it are kind of weird. The vacuum part doesn't really work. It doesn't pick up the stuff. But it does actually perform a little bit. It's not the total slouch I thought it was. I also did this with a wire wheel. It's actually does a pretty good job with a wire wheel, not that that's real high load. I have one other trick up my sleeve I'm going to try before I show you how I fixed it. Now, this may not make any difference, but it might work even better with this one change. Nope, didn't work. I hooked it up to my Dyson. I thought, now we're going to pull in the British for some more emergency power. And it just didn't do anything. So, skipping that. Let's get to the teardown. I'll show you what I did. It's really stupid simple. And try it on yours. Maybe it won't suck as bad. To take it apart, it uses T8 Torx screws. 4 of them. You'll find them if you just open your eyes and look at it. And voila. Oh shit. Ah, fuck. Every time that button falls out with the spring. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. Last time I took it apart, it was pretty clean inside because it wasn't doing anything. Obviously now it is working. Okay. This is the inside of it. If you've watched AVE's video, you already have a good idea about the teardown. What's in here. This is what I noticed. This is the actual turbine that spins the shaft. When I first got it, if you put your finger on here and tried to spin it, it would do this. And pretty much no matter how hard you spun it, it stopped as soon as you let go. The bearings were, I don't know, slowing it down. Now, if you flick it, it'll do a rotation or two. All I did was take it out and soak it with some Teflon lubricant. I just basically blasted down the bearings real good until they were nice and soaked. Slapped it back together, turned it on, and to my amazement, it spun up way faster than it was before. I don't know if it's just because these have been on the shelf for a while or if they used a bad lubricant to start. I think the bearings just need lubrication. They provide too much drag, and with that much drag, there's just not enough power left to keep it spinning. So if you've got one of these crappers, take it apart, heavily lube these bearings, put it back together and see what happens. I think I've shown in this video that it's a night or day difference. Now, whether or not the day is still pretty dim and crappy, sure. It is only intended to compete with a 4.8 volt Dremel, but I thought I better make another video because my other video is pretty damning, and I mean, it should come from the factory like this. You should buy it in the store and it should have this level of performance. So, I'm not giving them a pass for that, but it is capable of doing some stuff. It's not as useless as it seems with just this little tweak. Hack. This Dremel hack. Dremel quick fix. What are the words people use? I life hacked the Dremel. With this Dremel life hack, this $9 thing can do some stuff. If you already have a Dremel tool, probably don't bother with this thing. If you don't own any rotary tool at all, and you see this thing for $9, I would almost recommend that you grab it and then promptly take it apart and lubricate the bearings. For $9, the amount of drywall that it cut might actually be useful to somebody. I don't totally know. I'm going to use a multi-tool, an oscillating multi-tool when I fix that ugly hole. I'm not going to use this, but somebody could maybe use this. It's actually really good at running a wire brush. I don't know. It doesn't suck that bad anymore. And I hope if anybody out there does have this, they give this a shot. And if you do, post it in the comments. I could have the one fluke in the world that mine was actually a super specimen held back in its prime by bad lubrication and everybody else has the crappy one. That's possible too. So with lubrication, yours might suck horribly. But this one doesn't. For some reason. Yeah. Thanks for watching? Question mark? If you did watch,